Hey YouTube, Fiber Biscuit back again with another video. This one's going to be a little different. It's going to be an informational video, and I wanted to make this for a couple reasons. First, I wanted to introduce myself to everybody out there, talk a little bit about my collection, what I collect, why I collect it, how I got started, general stuff like that, so I can, give everybody out there a little more background about me and my collection, and why I say some of the things I do on some of my videos, and just give everybody a chance to know me and my collection a little bit better. And secondly, and probably more importantly, I wanted to say thank you to everybody out there in the community. I know a few people have said it recently, and I just want to reiterate it, that we do have a great community growing here. I think it's wonderful, and I want to thank everybody for their support and comments with my videos. And I love comic books. I love making videos and collecting and sharing it with everybody, and seeing everybody's great videos and their wonderful collections, and sharing their stories with me and everybody else. I think it's a great thing, and again, thank you for welcoming me into that and allowing me to be a part of it. With that said, I also want to give some shout outs to my new subscribers, and if I miss anybody, I apologize. Yell at me and I'll make sure I give you a shout out in one of my next videos. Superheroes Den 1, JF Next Comics, GIR Josh 101, and P69 1000. Thanks for the sub, guys. I appreciate it very much. I hope I got your names right. And anybody else out there who hasn't subscribed yet, you know who you are. Do it now. What are you waiting for? Also, last weekend was Free Comic Book Day. I hope everybody went out and enjoyed the day, got their free comics, or took advantage of some of their deals or their signings, or the artists that were at their local comic shop. I know I had a great day, got some good deals, but that's for another pickup video. So let's begin. I remember growing up as a little kid, my mom would oftentimes come home and she would have comic books and she would give them to me. And she would do this in the hopes that I would read a little bit more, or try to encourage me to read a little more. Mothers, always wanting their kids to read more. She figured, well, what little boy could resist the allure of the comic books? It really didn't work. I wouldn't read the comics. I would take it and pile them up on my bookshelf, and the stack would just grow and grow. I remember at one time I had quite an impressive collection of comics for somebody who didn't like comics. One day they disappeared, though. I'm sure, she took them and sold them or gave them away, and she really never brought home comics after that. I also remember having quite a few friends that collected comics. They would drag me to the comic book shop, and I'd just be itching to get out. I'd complain until I got my way, and they gave in. They just said, fine, let's go. I just never really liked comic books growing up. I never was into them. But that all changed. About 6 years ago, I went to an auction, and the auctioneer was selling some box lot, and nobody was buying it. And for some reason, I raised my card, and I ended up winning it. And when I got it home, in the bottom of the box, there were a couple comic books, cartoon comic books. For the life of me, I really wish I could remember what the exact issues were, but I can't. I don't even know if I still have them, which is unfortunate, but I just don't know. As Big's Baby would say also, they were hellified reader copies. They were pretty beat up. But yet there was still something about them that really drew me to them, that I instantly connected with, and I had to learn more from that instant. So I started learning more and more about comics, and it had just eventually snowballed from there to present day. I consider myself to have the full-blown disease, full-blown collecting disease, where I absolutely love comics, and I love collecting. But it's only been recently. I've only been collecting for about 6 years, so pretty short amount of time, I would say. So what do I consider myself? Well, you have the four types: breeder, collector, investor, speculator. So what do I consider myself? First and foremost, I'm not a speculator. I never will be. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I don't condone the practice whatsoever. I think It's just bad. There's just nothing good from it, and I hate speculators. I will never be a speculator. Reader. I don't consider myself a comic book reader. I don't read a lot of the comic books I have. That's not to say there aren't certain issues or series that I do read. I will read them, but for the most part, I don't read my books cover to cover. A lot of them I'll skim through and flip through, but as far as complete story cover to cover, no. I don't read a lot of my comic books, so I don't consider myself a reader. That's because that's not what I'm into. I'm not into the story or the story arc so much. What I'm really drawn to with comic books is the artwork, and more specifically, the cover art. I love all the different cover artists out there. Ditko and Kirby, Romita Jr. and Sr., Neil Adams is, one of my favorites, Perez, Infantino. The list goes on, but really, that's what I'm drawn to is cover art and artwork. I think comic covers are mini masterpieces in themselves. They're absolutely gorgeous. I love the issues that parallel, the American culture. They give glimpses into, our history at certain times. And I just think they're absolutely wonderful, and that's really what I'm drawn to. And, it's not so much the story, but I collect for artwork and cover, more specifically. So I definitely am a collector. I'm a comic book collector. I have the disease. I have, the full-blown addiction. I also have a very understanding wife that allows me to do that. What I collect is back issue mostly. I don't get into modern too much. There are a couple modern series or issues that I do collect, but for the most part, I don't collect modern books. I do collect a lot of modern variants and variant covers because, again, I love the artwork and I love the different artwork. So you'll see in a lot of my videos, usually I'll have, some variants in there as well. But for the most part, I don't collect modern. Mostly Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Copper Age back issues. And again, I usually go after superheroes, or the superhero titles, no matter what it is. And, the main publishers, DC and Marvel. I don't get into comics, like cartoon or westerns or romance and stuff like that. I do have some, but, that's not really what I'm after. It's mostly superheroes. I also collect key issues, first appearances, of course. I'm always after those hard to find or key issues or the rare stuff or, interesting stuff. That's what really appeals to me. So investor. I also consider myself an investor. I think I have to consider myself an investor. Anybody who collects back issue comics especially, I think has to also consider themselves an investor. Sometimes, I and everybody out there spends, some money for these comics they're getting. Some of them aren't cheap, and we need to protect our investment or what we, pay for these comic books. And we buy the Mylars and the bags and the boards and the boxes, and we keep everything organized and neat. And we try to protect, the money we invest in these comics. So I definitely also consider myself an investor. So with that said, I hope that gives everybody a little bit more information about me, how I got started, what I collect, what I like, and, if there's anything you want to know about me or my collection, please feel free to ask me. I know I've stuck to a lot of pickup videos. I don't go into, my collection too much, but hopefully in the near future I'll be able to do that. I will be graduating next week. I'm getting my degree. I was laid off and I got a chance to go back to school for 2 years, so I took it, and I will be getting my degree, and I have a job lined up already, start May 30th, which I'm super excited about, and I absolutely can't wait to begin that career. But hopefully that'll give me more time to focus on my collection and making videos and maybe go into some of my back issues and talk about them. So if there's anybody anybody out there wants to see anything specifically, let me know. Or if you have any questions, I want to start making some of these videos time to time so I can get on and, maybe give some rants and, answer questions and just general stuff like that. So again, thank you to everybody out there. I hope you know me a little bit better, and, I look forward to everybody's questions, and, as always, keep those great videos coming. I love watching them. Hopefully I'll have one of my pickup videos coming up pretty soon. So until then, Fiber Biscuit out.